Alright, so I have to remake a bunch of videos because my face was in them, and that makes me uncomfortable, the idea of putting my face around on the internet. So now I'm going to remake them with, like, I don't know, just like a sliver of my face. You know? I know nobody gives a shit, but that's not how my personality works. I've always had the kind of personality where, like, the whole point of why I did a clothing brand, essentially, is that I want to make something to put out there into the world as a substitution for myself, because I'm uncomfortable being face-to-face with people. Like, I'm introverted. I'm very introverted. And I'm not comfortable around people. I'm not comfortable being seen in general. It's a weird thing to try and... It occurs to me, like, to explain this to people is I mean, at least for probably a lot of people, it just sounds ridiculous. What do you mean you don't want to be seen? I literally don't. I've never been comfortable with being seen. I always feel like people are watching me, and I don't want them to be able to see me. So I was always one of those kids that wished for invisibility, not being able to fly, but it wasn't so that I could do sneaky shit to people. It wasn't so that I could, you know, sneak up behind her and bend her over. It was just so I would be comfortable. Anyway, that's not what the point of this video is. The point of this video is about why my brand came out with a Nick Fuentes shirt. Because he's, you know, the devil and everything. That's pretty much how people act like what he is, you know. Which is ironic because he's actually a Christian. Nice kid. As far as I can tell, he seems like a nice kid. Seems to have like a good humor about him. I don't know how to describe him really, but like, if you listen to him if you listen to a full video of his, where everything he says that's controversial is in the context in which it actually occurred, like, he explains himself well enough, he's articulate enough for the listener to understand that he's not like a racist. He's not he might be a misogynist, but I don't even think he is. I mean, he's pretty much like, men are different than women, and he's a man and he doesn't care for women. Which, at least he's honest. Yeah, but so... Yeah, I put out the shirt, Your Body, My Choice, because I think it's a really funny meme. And it's a cool looking shirt. It's that cool image where he's standing over the woman who was at his grandmother's house, who he maced and shoved down the stairs. Which, yeah, okay, so that was excessive. I don't know. But at the same time, you don't put yourself among a mob that is threatening to kill somebody. You don't put yourself among that mob and act like you should be viewed as just a possible solicitor. And there was no sign posted about no solicitation. I mean, you wouldn't, only an idiot wouldn't understand that Nick would understand that you were there not with his best interests in mind. I mean, jeez. Anyways, gosh, and now, okay, so I'm making this, like, I'm remaking a video that I made days ago, but now in this short time, somebody else has shown up to Nick's house and tried to kill him. Literally. Tried to kill him. They came with a gun and a crossbow, which I'm sure you all know. I didn't mention that in my first video because it hadn't happened yet, but it happened a couple days ago. Naturally, people are celebrating it because people are fucking ghouls. And anybody who's at all right-wing, or just who is an ethical person, should be standing up for Nick Fuentes to the best of their ability right now. Because those people, even if you don't even if you think, oh, you can't stand that Nick Fuentes doesn't believe that more money needs to go to Israel. Like, even if you can't believe that he thinks that, you still need to stand up for the value of the guy's life, and that is a clear-cut example of evil on the left. And I'm not saying there needs to be a bunch of camaraderie for people who are right-wing. I'm not saying that's never what the right-wing's been about. They're the guys who are all about, individual liberties and like leave me alone and all that shit. But there are times to come together, and this is one of them. Nick Fuentes, ironically, is the time for people who are at all right-leaning to come together. Support him however you can. He needs money apparently to pay for private security. You know what? Buy my shirts. I'll send him half of it, the profits. And I have no fucking customers at this right now, so it would be great for me to just get my brand out there. Get people wearing the shirts that say "Color Me Canceled" on them, and then also help Nick I'll send him half of whatever I make on each one, or I don't know, whatever the best way of doing it is. However, I can donate it to him. Okay, so what's the other thing that I had said in the first video that I wanted to tell people? I forget. Oh, just that I'm not a groyper at all. I don't know that much about Nick Fuentes. I've never watched his show called America First. I've never seen that. And I don't know what all the groypers think, to be honest. Like, I haven't heard Nick Fuentes say much that he thinks that I haven't thought, like, oh, that's, it's an interesting point, and he's got something there, Maybe I don't 100% agree with it, but there's some truth to it. Everything he's talked about, point by point, I've seen some value in it. I've seen some truth in it. I'm sure there's stuff that I've disagreed with also, but I don't know what. Well, for one thing, I'm not actually Christian. See, I gotta hide my face a little bit because I don't want my face on the videos. But I've got upside down crosses tattooed on my teeth, on my yellow ass teeth from when I was 20 years old. So I've had them tattooed on my incisors for 25 years. And I'm not a Christian, but it's not because I think it's stupid or anything like that. I'm agnostic, and I haven't yet been able to bring myself to believe in it. But I've been trying to, because I've found this existence painful, lonely, depressing, and just not what I was expecting since returning from years of homelessness, living out on the streets, addicted to drugs. This idea of starting a clothing brand is what brought me out of it, reconciling with my family. After I lost my house, my girlfriend of almost 15 years. I fell down a deep hole, and I actually suffered a violent traumatic brain injury on the streets. And man, I was unconscious for weeks. Definitely thought I was going to die. I was on the news and shit. And I needed rehabilitation, so I started a clothing brand. Because they said it needs to, because see, I have trouble since my traumatic brain injury, I have trouble talking, articulating what's going through my head, and I mix up words and stuff. So they said what I needed to do, well, and besides that, after my traumatic brain injury, half of my vision, I was seeing double of everything, which I'll explain that some other time. But, So the point is, sorry, I just got distracted because somebody pulled up right behind me and is just, they're actually waiting for me to go when I'm parked on a empty parkway. See, I'm on one of these parkways. This is a pretty famous parkway from a while back where dudes would they pull their car over and a person will slowly pass by looking at you. And if they like what they saw, the dude they'd pull a Y turn and then try and make eye contact with you, and you know what I'm saying. But anyway, the cops cracked down on him for a while, and so it got a little less creepy here for a while. But I think maybe something. He pulled a Y turn. He didn't quite do it right though. He pulled up behind me, hung out for a little while, a little eye contact between me and him on the rear view mirror, and then but then he pulled the Y turn from behind me and left. So he must have. I think I just got rejected. How fucking embarrassing! And now I'm gonna post this for people to see me just get fucking rejected like a bitch. My God. He's probably looking for a true top, and I didn't fit the bill. So what was I talking about before? My traumatic brain injury? Yeah, that was supposed to be my intellectual endeavor that would help sort of get my brain functioning again, and it would just be time that would heal my vision. They thought it would be surgery probably, but time actually helped it. My brain figured out how to put the two images in half of my plane of vision back into like one image, so I stopped seeing everything in double. And then I started being able to speak a little bit more clearly and formulate my thoughts a little bit better. But I still will just sometimes say words in the wrong order, or I have to it's like I stutter, sort of. Because I'm about to say a word in the wrong order, and then I pull it back. But anyway, this video is not supposed to be about me. It's about why I released the Nick Fuentes shirt, and I guess a little bit about my brand and why I'm doing it. And I guess it's also about what I've realized about making content for my brand. Just colormecanceled.com. What I realized about the brand is that I'm not supposed to do what I just did, which is like let people know that I'm selling something and I want them to buy shit from me and everything like that. What I'm supposed to be doing is just like giving away free content, and that is what that means specifically is apparently that I can be informing people of something, or I can be entertaining people. And all my videos thus far have been basically just advertisements, and I didn't know that I was supposed to even veil them. So they were just openly advertisements, like, check out my shit. If you like it, great. Because I happen to be selling it. But if you don't, then you shouldn't. No foul. No harm, no foul, you know? You can just go watch some other more fun content. What I wasn't expecting is that, that's actually offensive to people, to be like tricked into clicking on an advertisement. They're like, how dare you, you know? And so they click right away from the video, and then apparently like the social media site realizes that people are abruptly clicking away right at the beginning, and so then they don't recommend it to more people, and my videos end up at 4 views or whatever. or like 20 views, or, you know. So what I would love for people to do is, I was thinking I'll keep putting out shorts where I sort of just advertise shirts that I'm putting out right away. And then I'll also do, I want to say vlog, but I think people call it vlogs, because I don't know a lot about social media. But so I'll put out vlogs that this would be an example of, where what I was thinking, maybe I could talk to people about what it's like to start a clothing brand, because my experience with doing it so far has been like, I would recommend that people don't do it, or at least know what they're getting into. And what's surprisingly to me is that, like, a clothing brand involves a lot of different roles that you're gonna have to take on as a newcomer. I mean, assuming you're gonna do it yourself, you know, or with like one other person. I'm doing everything by myself, including like making the designs and making the shirts, everything. So you're gonna have to be comfortable wearing a whole lot of hats, or whatever the expression is. You need to have to be comfortable, like, going from being like a designer to then advertising your shit, or explaining your shit on the internet. And I hate talking to people. I hate doing this right now. This is uncomfortable, and I feel like I was about to say a retard. Oh boy, that would have been, I would have lost so many of you if I would have said that word. But actually, the company I started, the LLC, is called Retard Owned. Actually, it is called that because, like I said, when I had my traumatic brain injury, I was basically retarded, and still kind of am. But right after the traumatic brain injury, I mean, we're talking like actual retard. Like, I'd try and step up over a curb, and then I would just the curb wouldn't have been there yet, and I'd just flop my foot down on the street and then trip over with my next step the curb that I thought I was, stepping over. It was pretty retarded, seriously. So I thought a funny company to start would be the intellectual project would be done by the LLC, Retard Owned. So that's what I did. I might have to edit that out because I was starting two companies with it. One was going to be political shirts and shit once I learned how to make shirts, and the other one was going to be just really funny shirts or stuff that I thought was really funny. Anyway, man, this video isn't concentrated at all on a specific topic. I guess the general topic is just my brand and how I'm trying to do it. And I don't know how to do the social media shit. I don't know how to run this brand. Maybe you guys can help me. Maybe I can help you know what you'd be getting into if you want to start a brand. Like, some of the difficulties and, like, how hard some of the specific shit is. And how some of it's easier than you'd ever think. Honestly. Like, starting an LLC is super easy. It's only like $35 or something. It's the easiest shit you'll do. However. And then, to wrap it around to why I started this video, and was to make a disclaimer about why I was coming out with a shirt that from this supposed white supremacist misogynist that says your body, my choice on it. How dare I? Well, I think it was a pretty funny tweet that he did, and he's actually not a bad guy if you give him a chance and you listen to some of his shit, which I did. And I was releasing the shirt before I found out that he was going to be, his bullying was going to, continue, and it was about to get much worse. I was going to bring crossbow and gun to his house and try and kill him. So, he needs some allies at this point, obviously. And like I said, too, whatever Nick Fuentes shirts I sell, I'll send half of it to his fund that's supposed to be for his security team. But I don't expect to get many orders because I haven't gotten any though so far. But hopefully that all changes. Or maybe it won't change until I invite Christ into my heart and go down that road. Because I've prayed, I've asked to be convinced of his reality, and it hasn't happened yet. I will say though, a lot of times when I'm thinking about him, I'll get this like tingling warmth in my chest that builds, and I feel it in my body. I feel it like electricity going through me. But I assume that's like a placebo effect on my physiology that I'm creating with what I imagine it to be, loved by the most powerful thing in the universe. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I can help you if you don't know what you're doing. Maybe you can help me. All right. I'm not supposed to say my website or brand, I don't think, right now, but I don't know. I'm used to doing that. It's called Color Me Canceled. And it's a .com. Thanks. Bye.